30% of our franchisees do over $1 million a year. The strongest franchisees we have the people skills. We send a franchise business coach to them to train them for 3 to 4 years.
Before you explore franchise options, take a few minutes to understand how you are wired. The assessment link is below. Welcome to Franchise Focus. Most of us have looked around the house after a busy week and thought, I'll get to it this weekend. Then the weekend comes and goes, and somehow the list is even longer. That's why residential cleaning has become an essential service for millions of households. Between busy careers, raising families, caring for aging parents, and simply valuing your time, more people are choosing to outsource routine cleaning. It's also become one of the most durable sectors in franchising, built on recurring customers and long-term relationships. Today, we're joined by Joel Zervitz, Vice President of Franchise Development for Maid Brigade. For more than 40 years, Maid Brigade has built a premium residential cleaning brand known for healthier cleaning practices, quality service, and loyal customers. Joel has helped countless entrepreneurs evaluate the opportunity and has a unique perspective on what it makes franchise owners successful. Joel, welcome to Franchise Focus.
Thanks so much for having me, Laura. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your broad experience in franchising and your entree with Evi brands and whatnot.
So it's not that convoluted a path. It's a long one. I've been in franchising since 1997. So that's going on 28 years, which is crazy. So I'm Canadian, born and raised in Montreal. I started years ago with in the children's enrichment education field of franchising, grew a brand in 10 years to 225 franchises in 25 countries, which really helped me develop my love for international franchising. And so when I left that company for my own and started counseling franchisors on how to grow globally, I always laugh because, some people think, well, you open a franchise in Kuwait or you open one in New York City, it's going to work the same way. And God bless you if that's what you think. So in my career, I've had the good fortune now of introducing brands in over 65 countries, over 150 cities across the U.S., all across Canada. And I've worked almost exclusively with U.S. brands for my entire career. Fortunately enough, I was looking to expand beyond just the children's enrichment field and was approached by Maid Brigade 13 years ago. And they were looking to grow both globally and in Canada. And what ended up happening is I did a master franchise in Saudi Arabia. Then we did some single units in Canada. And they said, hey, I think I like this guy. Maybe he could become our VP of franchise recruitment, as they told me. And so I've been sitting in this chair for the last 13 years. And then you mentioned Evive, interestingly enough, being around since 1985 and having a 41-year track record like we do with Maid Brigade. And we were actually sold to private equity to the Riverside Group and fall underneath the Evive umbrella of brands, which has 7 different home service brands. And been proudly working with Evive in the stable of brands now for just about 11 months as we continue to grow and expand our footprint as well.
Fantastic. And tell me a bit about, the evolution of Maid Brigade and what is a good franchisee and why people gravitate towards this brand.
It's interesting because I even think it's changed over 13 years. Like the one thing when you look at residential cleaning, I think a lot of prospective franchisees will look at that shiny new toy. They'll look at something with sex appeal. No one really thinks of the home services sector, or used to not think of the home services sector, but the home services sector happens to be one of the most predictable because of the recurring revenue stream. So what we find is we're getting people that are sales and marketing driven, who really want to build, a strong stable of customers with that recurring revenue. We're getting people from HR that really want to impact their community, who are comfortable empowering others and hiring others. So I would say the strongest franchisees we have the people skills to not only deal with their customers, but to deal with their employees as well. And they're also really, really sales and marketing driven. They're not afraid to join a BNI networking group. They're not afraid to join a chamber of commerce. They're not afraid to really, really get involved in their community, sponsor a local sports team. Those are the ones that really know how to grow and scale because they have a willingness to really, really get involved in the community as well.
Gotcha. So someone starts a business, it may be great. How are they getting customers? So they're getting involved, but is it digital marketing working as well? Or What's kind of your split on how or approach to acquiring customers?
Great question. So it varies. I've always said big, large metropolitan markets are not all made equal. And what I mean by that is what works in LA may not necessarily work in Houston. So we have a digital media team that really, really looks at data and analytics. There's some things that will always remain constant, like SEO in pay-per-click. All franchisees will use that to have a presence on Google, but we see franchisees that are doing door hangers. They're doing mailers like, Money Mailer or Valpak to people's
Hmm.
homes. They're exhibiting at a green cleaning expo because we have some really, really unique solutions. We call them pure cleaning, which I'll expand on it as well, which is one of our big differentiators. So it's joining the BNI networking groups that I said before. It's getting
Hmm.
involved in the community. So it's not one size fits all. I would say the SEL and the PPC are the two constants for sure. But then we look at these different markets and we see what works best, and then we share that with our franchisees so they can make the best decisions to not just acquire customers, but to bring their cost of customer acquisition cost down as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. In terms of that recruiting side, and finding the maids, share a little bit more about that and owner's experience there.
Yeah, listen, it will always remain the biggest challenge in any
Hmm.
service-based business. I think whether you're opening a restaurant tomorrow, a children's tutoring center, or you're opening up a Maid Brigade, you still are competing for those same types of employees. So we work really, really closely with them. We always tell everyone we're not going to compete with Amazon paying $30 an hour, but they're not going to like working at Amazon. So what we really focus on is culture. We use Indeed. We use some of the typical platforms that you would think. We have all of our manuals that are translated into Spanish, videos in Spanish and English. It's not a secret. A good portion of our workforce is Latino. So we
Hmm.
work really, really closely with them on what do you say in an interview? But honestly, Laura, what do you don't say in an interview as well?
Yeah.
Like with labor laws and everything along those lines, we've spent a great deal of time on this. And it's something that I don't want to say we've perfected. I think this it's always evolving, it's always changing, but we go into great depths to even share where they should be advertising, what they should be saying, who they should be marketing to, referral programs to make sure that if they get an employee, they can refer one of their friends because we work in teams of two. So there's a lot of different strategies that we employ, with our franchisees so that we can really share with them how to get those best employees and how to keep them, most importantly,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
I would imagine. What are some of the successes you've had in terms of, retaining the employees?
Yeah, it's small things. It's are you doing pizza parties? Are you doing lunches? Are you giving an employee of the month? Are you and we've even had franchisees. It's I'll try to summarize this quickly, but I had a conversation with a franchisee 4 or 5 years ago, came to us and said, "You know what? I don't pay my employees hourly anymore." And we're like, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, I give them a percentage of the revenue. And by giving them a percentage of the revenue, all of a sudden they could clean 4 homes in a day instead of cleaning 3 homes in a day." And I'm being somewhat sarcastic, but
Yep.
the truth
Yep.
the truth is there's ways to do it to where they can bring home as much money as possible for their family. And then, of
Okay.
course, franchisees could benefit from that as well. So these are things that are learned over 41 years of franchising. And also, franchisees always sharing best practices with one another. I always say that our greatest strength is our community of
Yeah.
franchisees. They're always sharing best practices with one another. So that's just one example of something that came out of a simple conversation with one of our franchisees and that was presented at one of our conferences. Why? Because they're always sharing best practices as well.
How many franchisees do you have now?
So we've always been big believers of growing from within. So although we have around 285 territories, that's made up of just over 70 to 75 franchisees.
Okay.
We have franchisees that have been with us for over 30 years, which is really,
Wow.
really uncommon. As in franchising, many that have been with us for over 20 years. Just to exacerbate that point, our training is so unique. When we get a new franchisee that comes on board, they actually spend 3 to 4 days being mentored by a seven-figure franchisee. It's the first thing they do. We're so lucky that we have people that wanna give back to the community,
Hmm.
that they will go and spend 3 to 4 days, shadow them, learn best
Wow.
practices. Then they come back to their office, and then we send a franchise business coach to them to train them for 3 to 4 years. It's so much more effective than sending them to a home office and staring at a PowerPoint for 4 days and forgetting
Yeah.
every ounce of information that they've learned. So and
Brilliant.
so we've grown from within. We're lucky that people have bought a second, a third, a fourth territory. That's something that we really pride ourselves on, is giving people the opportunity to be an empire builder as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a critical number that you're looking for in terms of that tipping point of number of customers you want to get on board, first year, second year type of metric?
Yeah,
Or
I think I look at it more as how many teams you're hiring than how many customers. And so for us, we'd like to see each franchisee get to 3 teams of 2 at the very least by the end of the first year.
okay,
And a full schedule is 4 cleanings a day for a team of 2. So, and again, that comes down to efficiencies, how quickly their learning curve is, right? They may start with 3 and then very quickly, and that comes down to scheduling efficiencies, which we train our
yeah.
franchisees on. You're starting in your northern part of your territory on a Tuesday. Well, why would you have the same team of 2 that's cleaning in the northern part, cleaning in the southern part on the same day? So there's a lot of things from an efficiency standpoint that we train our franchisees on, so they can make the best use of not just their time, but their employees' time as well.
So, and talk a bit about your cleaning method and some of the uniqueness of that.
Yes, I'll tell you, it's a really, really interesting story. So we've been using pure cleaning probably since 2 years prior to COVID. And the way it all started, we weren't clairvoyant. We didn't predict COVID. I'd love to say we could do that. We also didn't lose one franchisee in COVID. And I
That's
think
fantastic.
so 2 years prior, we have a franchisee in Los Angeles who sees pure cleaning. He says, "You have to fly out to Los Angeles, see this demo. It's going to revolutionize our industry." And so we saw a demo and we were floored. And the best way to explain it is, picture, like, I'm looking at your backdrop now, my own backdrop, frankly, and you do a surface clean. The surface clean is over. And then picture your son or daughter who's 4 or 5 years old spraying their friend with a water gun. We call that an electrostatic sprayer. And what we do is we actually load in disinfection solutions mixed with electrolyzed water. And when you mix the disinfection solutions with the electrolyzed water, it actually creates the purest, most hygienic cleaning solutions available. So team of 2 finishes their surface clean. One of them will then walk around for probably no more than 10 minutes. They'll spray really easy to places that are easy to get to, like countertops, light fixtures, door handles, but they'll also spray hard to reach places like in between appliances, which is not easy to get to. And then when you spray them, it actually adheres to the surface, kills all the bacteria and germs within 5 to 7 minutes, leaves zero residue and zero odor. It's changed our business. Like, even though I always tell people, even though COVID's in the rearview mirror for everybody, the health and safety of their loved ones isn't. That's still in the forefront of their mind. So if we can go in, we can do that. And now, of course, listen, we were going into banks, car dealerships, schools, bars, restaurants, doctors' offices. We're charging exorbitant amounts of money back then. Let's be fair, COVID's over, but people still want their home to be clean and they
Yeah.
want their loved ones to be safe. So we don't charge more for it. It's part of our regular clean. So we're going to be competitive. If the messaging is done properly, they're going to get the customer every single time. So it's part of who we are now. It's part of our cleaning, and people love it because it gives them peace of mind.
So that was my next question is, yeah, how do you market that? How do you message that to that seems to be such a huge, unique
It is.
offering.
We have educational pieces, we have marketing pieces that, like, we have a marketing hub and a marketing library where franchisees never have to create their own marketing pieces. The whole reason they're attaching themselves to a franchise system is so they don't want, or they don't have to reinvent the wheel. So we have all of this available to them. They could be sending them out to their existing customers, to new customers. They have flyers that they have. So we have a whole range of marketing pieces that really, really educates them on the pure cleaning system and the pure cleaning process as well. And so they embrace that with open arms, definitely.
So your team goes through, cleans, and then they go around and does the customer have to approve they want this, or has anybody ever said, "I don't want it"?
Never. In fact, people are clamoring for it because it's
Yeah.
it's part, like, we finish that clean, team of 2, and one of them just goes around, sprays for 10 minutes. And like
Mhm.
I said, you don't even have to wipe it away. So for them, it's just it provides them peace of mind more than anything else. And
Yeah,
the truth of
100%.
it is, for our business, the reason it's popular is because people don't want to come home to a second job. They want to buy back their free time. And so, being able to come in and to have a professional, reliable company that, has insurance, has bonding, everything's covered. it really, really allows them to get time back in their life and spend time with loved ones. So our service is really very rarely or adversely affected by economic downturns or things along those lines because no one wants to give up their cleaners at the end of the
No,
day. Don't
they
want.
do not. They do not. What are some huge success stories that some of your owners have?
We have man, when you have people that have been with us 25, 30 years,
Yeah,
there's a lot of great stories, right? We have former lobbyists to, CMOs to people that were in HR that love to empower others. Like we have a lot of franchisees. 30% of our franchisees do over $1 million a year. It's in our FDD. So we have some large franchisees that have really grown with us. So
yeah.
there's a lot of success stories. And I guess, I always want to be careful with that because everyone has a different definition of
Yes.
success. But in terms
Yeah.
of, some people are just love their business. They love the fact that it's pretty much 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's good for their family. They're not busy on weekends. So yeah, I would tell you that we have just a lot of franchisees that have been with us for umpteen years that continue to grow, continue to scale, continue to be involved in their community. There was one franchisee who I remember during COVID was cleaning firehouses and police stations. Why? Because they felt they should, just like that. And so we have a lot of really, really good people in a great community of franchisees.
Is the marketing typically targeted to residential, or do the owners now still do commercial work, or
They still do commercial work. I still call commercial work gravy. And what I mean by that is, well, our main company or our main areas of business will always be focused. I would say 85 to 90% is always on the residential market. But with that said, there is low hanging fruit because if you're cleaning a doctor or a dentist's home, she or he are going to come back to you say, hey, I trust you. Would you mind cleaning my doctor's office or my dental office or my bar or my restaurant? So the beauty of the commercial side is that you really only need one person. It's typically evenings and weekends, unlike what the residential side is Monday to Friday. But that's available. Many franchisees focus on it. There is a ton of opportunity, especially because of our pure cleaning that people
yes?
want. But we're still always a residential cleaning company first, for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. In terms of the market itself, I mean, what are some changes you've seen? You brought this new technology in. Others doesn't sound like a lot of other companies are using it. So, but any other changes that you've seen to just the overall residential cleaning, or what makes one business more successful than the other?
From the franchisee's perspective, in terms of
Yeah.
what makes, I would say community involvement. And I would say that's really evolved more. Like I still have some franchisee will say, well, why do I have to do an in-house estimate? And why do I have to go, shake franchisee's hand? There's so much available with technology now, but there's still nothing that replaces a handshake. So what I would say is some things have stayed the same from a technology standpoint. Like we use a software called Maid Central, which is an all-in-one management platform that allows franchisees to do everything from it. That wasn't always possible years
Hmm.
ago, right? So having everything in one place, having our franchisees being able to have that in one platform so they can solely focus on what's really important, which is the growth of their business and getting their name out there and getting an adrenaline push to the brand. Like I would say technology has changed our industry a lot, and very much for the better because it allows franchisees to concentrate on what's really important, which is the growth of their customer base and finding and keeping the right employees as well.
You brought up the in-person estimates. I meant to ask that. So, customer acquisition process is they're either through networking coming in and or through some advertising, but you're doing in-person estimates all the time. Are you ever quoting general
Well, we
numbers over the phone? Or
we can do both, definitely. And I always say you have two distinct customers. You have the person which is a product of COVID that calls you and asks 100 questions.
hmm
And then you have the person that just wants to go online and just wants to book a clean. And we can accommodate both, right?
okay,
So I'm a big believer still that if you get a new customer, you should, spend 10 minutes in their house. Don't do it once. Shake their hand. You understand what your employees are walking into. Make sure it's a safe environment. You do that. That's really important. I really believe. And the other part where residential is a little bit different than commercial is that if you go in, you shake someone's hand, now you have a relationship. When you have
hmm
a relationship, if something goes wrong, they're going to call you first. One of the things on
Yeah.
the commercial side is because it takes place in evenings and weekends, you don't always get to know the business owner. So that personal touch should never go away. Like we even encourage franchisees after they do their first clean to call a customer. Say, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
number one, thank you so much for trusting us. We're new to the community. Were you happy with the house you came home to? Like you have them at hello. They're so happy that you're following up. So it's just these common practices that we train our franchisees on to just be courteous, respectful, and to manage your customer base the right way as well.
Excellent. Is there any questions that you want or you would like owners, prospective owners to be asking during this, evaluation process?
What's a day in the life of a franchisee? Can you picture yourself, being a franchisee? And, the beauty about joining franchise systems, and I know you and I are somewhat partial, I would say to that, but, at the same time, that it really lessens your learning curve. And what I mean by that is there's so much that franchisors have to offer. With 41 years of experience, we've made every mistake imaginable, Laura, so that our franchisees don't have to make those mistakes. So on our end, I would say it's more, what's a day in the life like? Will my role be? How many people do I need to hire? Because it's not as many as you think, right? You're getting teams of two, and then as you grow, you're getting another team of two. So I
Yeah.
would just say questions that should be asked is just to make sure you're comfortable with the business model and your role within it, because I think that's really important as well.
Scaling the business. Is it you're not are you doing cars or people using their own cars, the maids?
So normally what will happen is franchisees will get their own vehicles and then we give them the artwork for the vehicle wraps. We don't
Hmm.
mandate them to have a vehicle wrap, but you get hundreds of inquiries a year when you're a moving billboard in your community. So we think it's a huge, huge plus to have it. We have some that put magnets on, but I'm always going to be an advocate of the vehicle wrap. So you start with one, and then as you grow, you add additional vehicles. You don't need anything fancy. We have franchisees that have Kia Souls, Toyota Tercels, Hyundai Accents, something that's practical that gets you from point A to point B that's
Hmm.
affordable. Because we're not stuffing in endless amount of equipment, like it's easily transportable in one of those compact cars. So we really encourage the vehicle wraps. We give all the artwork, and that can all be done locally as well.
Okay. So all in investment typically for a territory?
So what comes to us, you have a franchise fee that's 49.9. You have the initial equipment, which is 5,000. And then you have the onboarding fee, which is 9,100. So you add those all three together, it comes to 64,000. But our franchisees are spending on average around $4,000 a month in advertising and marketing because when they first go into a virgin territory, they're unknown. So they need to be able to spend money to be able to drive awareness to the brand. You factor in a small office, 500 to 700 square feet in a commercial area near an artery of highways with a water hookup. You don't need anything fancy in a vehicle. So you look at item seven, it's going to give you a range in that, 150 to 180 range, but that's just, we want to make sure people are well capitalized. But to us, it's 64,000 that they're paying.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. And your mix of owners generally, is there a certain type of profile or?
Sales and marketing, HR, military, we've had tech people. We have an eclectic mix. It's really, I would say the one commonality is willingness to be involved in community and
Yeah.
happy to employ others. Those are the two things that are really, really important. But because of that, it becomes a broad spectrum of people, right? It really is a broad spectrum of backgrounds. So I would share with you that those are the ones that usually do well. I would tell you the only ones that don't, what we try to avoid is the person who comes in, wants to stay in their cubicle, doesn't want to get out into their community. That
Hmm.
just doesn't work for us. But as long as have a willingness to really get involved in your community, because the first time someone sees the Maid Brigade logo, they're going to be like, "Oh wow, Maid Brigade's in my community." The next time they see you, it's going to be like, "Oh, there's Laura. She owns a local cleaning business." They don't even see you as the franchisee. So the more you're involved in the area, the more they see you as a local business that they want to support. So it's just having that willingness to get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Training of the maids, how does that typically work?
It's a train the trainer approach. I think when we first start, our new franchisees will spend 3 to 4 days at a seven-figure franchisee's location to shadow
Right.
them and to learn best practices.
Hmm.
And we're big believers in that. We're very fortunate that we have mentors that are willing to lend their time to train new
Yeah.
franchisees. Once that training is completed, then they go back to their, home city. And then one of our franchise business coaches will come and train them and their first employees for 3 to 4 days as well. From there, we have all the videos, we have all the manuals, we have everything in place to where they can train future employees themselves because it's not practical for them to send employees every single time to
Right.
our head office. Financially it wouldn't work for them. And given all the information they have online and through face-to-face training, they're going to be very well equipped to train future employees as well.
Fantastic. Most owners, are they most owning multiple territories or?
Most will start with one, but the majority of our owners now have multiple territories. They've
Yeah.
really grown from within. Like we have some that start with two, some that start with three, but
Hmm.
it's for me, it's finding the right person. Once we find the right person, we can discuss together what scalability looks like. Do they want to start with one? Do they want to start with two? I will tell you without question, the majority of our franchisees are multi-unit,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
but they don't all start that way. That becomes a personal decision and obviously based on, available capital as well.
Yeah. 100%. No, I think the approach was starting off the training with a $1 million or plus location is genius. I'm sure that gives someone a lot of confidence.
It does. They give some, they're getting to know a peer that they could strive to be to achieve that same success. So it works out really, really nicely. And it gives them, almost that barometer of what they should hit or a ceiling and what they should try to get to also.
What's the biggest mistake or maybe the most repetitive mistake you see new owners making?
Good question. I would say the biggest mistake is not being relatable to your employees, is not treating them well. And it's not to say our franchisees do that, but it's a competitive marketplace. And so it means really showing the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
And our franchisees do that. But listen, I said it earlier, they can go work elsewhere now and make more. So it's making sure you focus on culture and we train them on our new franchisees in this and how to incentivize them and how to get better, good people. And when you get them, how do you keep them as well? So I would say, listen, running a business that you wear a lot of hats. So this is just one of those areas you just don't want to see people not focus on. And we go into a deep amount of training when it comes to culture. That's really, really important. So I wouldn't say it's an issue. I would say it's just because you're wearing so many hats. It's something that you just don't want to forget your people.
Yeah.
That's what builds
Yeah.
your business essentially,
Ah,
is that's so important as well.
yes. No, that's excellent. Excellent advice. Anything else you think is important for someone to consider?
I would say just that, I guess one of the misperceptions for us is because we've been around for 41 years, a lot of people say, well, you're one of the innovators in the industry. You must be sold out everywhere. It's just not true. We have over 200 markets available and some major ones that you would think like Philadelphia, Boston, Pittsburgh, like they'd be surprised, so you may see our cars. You may just assume that your territory is taken. It's not the case. I think what I would want people to know is boring businesses are exciting.
Yeah,
There's such a way
exactly.
to say it, it's a very predictable revenue stream. And I think a business that people can really rally around and be proud to own. So I would just say, if you're interested, obviously ask Laura more about the brand and get introduced to me. And I'd love to just guide you through what becoming a franchisee is truly like.
Excellent. I appreciate your time so much, Joel.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. It was an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Look forward to connecting again.
Absolutely. Thank you.